Good evening and welcome to my weekly recap here for Apple and planning ahead for next week. Earnings coming up in a couple of weeks, so I'm still trying to position myself in some calls for earnings for a move higher. First of all, had to trail out of these 220 calls from over here. Fortunately, I took one off up here just over $8, and the rest stopped me out Thursday on that gap down at 520. Got into another position. It looked like it was going to break above this inside 30-minute candle right here and continue higher. Once it broke above the VWAP, I did chase, got in at 585 versus these lows. That trade failed. Into the end of the day, I should have and could have gotten back into these calls at a much better price way down here, somewhere in this range for a nice move up here on Friday. I was just frustrated with the position and I let that get to me. Excuse me, and prevented me from taking another trade. So looking to make up for that and get into a position for earnings that's coming up. Cleaned up the chart here, no more real patterns, just price action and a couple of important levels. Still looking for those 220 calls, so this note's staying right here. These lines represent the last consolidation move, which we're just kind of hovering around in between. This big green volume, you can see that's where the quad witching volume came in. So what I'm looking at is another test of these lows. Hopefully I'll get a good fill on these 220 calls. I don't think that's going to happen simply because looking over here on the daily time frame, you can see this descending trend line support, which algorithms do use as targets to buy or sell, as the case may. Sometimes it is up here at the top. Probably when it gets up here, if it ever gets back up here, it's probably going to be selling. So this is the pattern that's setting up overall on the daily chart. Anyways, we've retested this prior low, which was a huge wide range bar, good volume, somewhat in relation to where that quad witching volume came in. So I mean, it's a couple dollars off, but for a $200 stock, I'd say it's within striking distance of still having an effect. So anyways, looking for a move above here. If price action does actually break above this 221.5-ish area, over 221.5, I will take 220 calls for 2 November. Up here, just be a smaller position because my risk is going to be a little bit bigger. Slide this up a little bit. My risk is going to be on the opposite side of this area. Down here is the most ideal area to enter because it's nearer support. I can get a bigger position and my risk is going to be much more easily manageable. So for now, that's really all the trade plan I'm looking at doing for Apple going into earnings. I'm going to touch over here on the larger time frame chart here. And what I mean by a broadening pattern is simply a period of indecision, price discovery, price action initially puts in a top right here. Once it comes up to it, bears and sellers all looking at that as a target, an area to take profit, an area to short versus, and algos and market makers use that liquidity, rip up through it, and come back down. Now we've had this support set in over here. Same thing, just going the opposite direction. You have buyers with stops below, algos rip through it, take that liquidity, and start to go back the other way. So now the question is, do we continue higher? Do we go sideways? Do we come down? Because price action is still in an overall uptrend, it's a broadening pattern, which is a period of, as I said, price discovery or consolidation, not necessarily reversal. So for now, I'm obviously still going to stay bullish in Apple. Earnings coming up is going to be the catalyst needed to move it in a significant direction, either up or down. Hopefully, again, in my opinion, will be up. Monthly time frame here, still an outside bar, just means all of this month's price action has taken out the high and low of last month. It is red for now, still another week and a half to go in the end of October, so that could reverse and take out the opening price up here around 227.95 and turn this green and turn it into a green outside month, which if you look back recent history anyways, a lot of big sell-offs have been bought. So I mean, this one did retest lows. This one absolutely did not even come close retesting lows and pushed up for another leg. So trend is still up. Price action is not bearish. It's not reversing yet. So for now, of course, I'm going to stay on the bullish side and look for these 220 calls going into earnings. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them down below. Have a good weekend and good luck.